My name is Brad Muniz, partner at Sobel & Company. I would like to welcome you to Sobel Insights. Sobel Insights is a weekly series to provide some brief information on various topics. Our goal is to keep the session to 15 minutes. At this time, we are not offering CPE. If we get into the nano CPE space, we will start offering CPE. If you have any ideas for topics or ideas for speakers, feel free to reach out to me. You will see my email later on during the presentation. Today's topic is New Jersey Secure Savings Program. Our presenter is Liz Harper. She's a partner at SobelCo. She's the Director of Quality Control and the partner in charge of our employee benefit audit practice and consultation practice. So now, Liz, since you're the Director of Quality Control, I was hoping you were here to talk about A&A, and I got all excited. But no, you're going to talk about New Jersey Secure Savings Act, which made me have to go look into this. And that scared me more than some A&A topics. So, yeah, so what is this whole New Jersey Secure Savings Program?
Excellent. Okay, so Brad, let's start out by just going back a couple of years. Back in March of 2019, Governor Murphy signed the Secure Choice Act. So technically, it's Public Law 2019, Chapter 56, for anybody that wants to Google it. And what it did was it created the Secure Choice Program. This program is independent program. It's not in the Treasury, but it is going to be administered by a Secure Choice Board. And what I will tell you is, as of today, as of this date, the board has not yet been organized, and the program has not yet been commenced. So there will be more details to follow on that. What I will tell you is once the program is fully appointed and organized, the when and the how to commence the program, including items such as the process, timelines for enrollment, those will all be determined by the board. So the New Jersey Choice Program, it is a voluntary retirement savings program sponsored by the state of New Jersey, and it's going to be facilitated, exactly, yikes, okay, by employers and funded by employee savings. An employer is a person or an entity engaged in a business, industry, profession, trade, or another enterprise in New Jersey, and it can be for-profit or not-for-profit. So what I will tell you is if you're an employer with the parameters are going to be like explicitly defined, and they're in the specific act. But what they're saying is employees must offer a retirement plan if you've been in business for at least 2 years, and that's definitely the first threshold you have to meet. And then at no time during the previous calendar year, you have to do an assessment to determine that you had at least 25 employees. So what I will tell you is if, let's just pretend like 2020 is the year that you're going to be evaluating the number of employees, and you at any point in time had 24 employees, you would not be required to participate in this retirement plan. What I will tell you, the last threshold is that you currently don't offer a qualified retirement plan. And I'll define a qualified retirement plan as the most common types are 401ks or 403bs.
Interesting. So you're doing a look back and applying it to the current situation.
Yes.
And at any given time, if you had 25 or more employees, so I mean, this is the requirements of the business owner are going to be significant. To look back at their prior employees, and I guess they really have to take a hard look because you may have a lot of seasonal employers that this could affect.
Right. So the specific act did not define employee in regards to whether or not it was full or part-time. So I would expect that the definition would apply to part-time employees as well.
Wow.
Because it really does, it's dependent upon their wages. right? So I'm not sure at any point they're probably going to clarify. Maybe it's going to be some hour requirement. I'm going to just throw out 1,000 hours. Who
Right.
knows?
Right.
That could possibly be what would be implemented going forward, or further guidance.
And so, I mean, it sounds very onerous on some of these smaller companies, and I'm not trying to pick on smaller companies, but they may not be focusing on this. And let's just pick a landscaper who's doing nothing from January, forget about plowing, from January through May for the most part, or April, and then for a few months they hire a handful of employees, not part-time, full-time, but they're seasonal. October, they go away. Maybe they rake leaves for a little while, but then they go away, and they could fall under this. There's no requirement for, most 401ks. I'll teach you about 401ks, Liz.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, a lot of 401ks have automatic enrollment, but some of them say you have to have a year of service. This doesn't have a year of service requirement. It sounds like. Wow. So based on last year, I had 25 employees, 26 employees, whatever. Never offered a plan. I have a landscaping business. I run rides down in the seaside. And last year I had 25 employees. This year I have to offer it for completely different people who may not even be there next year even too.
Yeah, so I will say that I will just tell everyone to just keep this, monitor it, but that there will be additional clarity as we get closer to the launch date.
That's very funny you say additional clarity. And this came out in 2019, and they still haven't put the commission together, and it has not commenced. That's
not. So it is onerous, and we'll talk about that a little bit. What the requirements.
Are there any particular plan features? Can the employee, or does the employee and the employer?
Right. So what I will tell you is that I guess really what I don't want to lose track of is what would be required for a business owner. So what I will tell you is there are going to be some requirements, and you should really keep this in mind. And my takeaways will include, maybe the New Jersey Secure Choice program might not be the best choice for your company. So let's just talk really quickly at a high level. The requirements include an annual submission of an employee census, and that would go right directly to the program. You'll also have to track eligibility status for all employees, right? So the key here, and you hit the nail on the head earlier when you talked about, well, what is the definition of an employee? What I will tell you is it's an individual who is at least 18 years or older and lives in this state, so lives in New Jersey, or is employed by a New Jersey employer. And what I will tell you is that the wages have to be subject to the New Jersey withholding. So
interesting. So hire either high school students that are under 18 or people that live in Pennsylvania, New York, and Delaware. Okay.
Well, to be honest with you, if they live in Pennsylvania, New York, or Delaware, but they work for a New Jersey employer, they're still going to qualify.
So you must work in our tax department then too.
There you go. No, I don't. I don't have any plans. So here's one thing I also want to bring up for consideration is that if you are an employer and you use a PEO, they are stating in the act that you would be treated as an employee, So
yeah.
Of that company, it doesn't disqualify you, the fact that you're using a PEO.
That's a great clarification because I've had to deal with this for the PPPL, and I heard it years ago in the New Jersey state audit that I went through is if you use a PEO, you and the PEO are considered co-employers. So just because you divest your payroll responsibilities and health and your benefit responsibilities to PEO, you were still considered a co-employer.
Right.
So
right. And there's just a few other requirements. So one would you have to provide, of course, program information to your current and your new employees. You're going to have to track and track and follow like opt-out request forms. Like say someone says, you're eligible to participate, but they don't want to. They want to opt out. So that's also something. And also like there'll be an open enrollment period. So administratively, there are definitely requirements for the employer.
Great, because these smaller employers really have nothing better to do, but, be on top of this now too. I heard something about a date of March 28th.
There is a date. So, and this is, so let's see, 2 years ago, I wrote the article on this, choice savings program. And there was some email volume activity that I received. And also some of our partners received calls from clients because they were like, wow, what's going on? What I will tell you is it was signed into the Choice Secure Act was signed and it was dated March 28th, 2019, which means that within the act, it said that there was 24 months for it to become effective. And that's the importance of that date, March 28th, 2021. But what I will highlight is that the act also provides a 12-month extension for that implementation deadline.
So this could come into effect, but with COVID, who knows what's going to happen?
So I have to, resources, right? It's who you know. So I reached out to a couple people, couple of my colleagues that are in the retirement plan space. And what I did was I actually inquired of Andrea Spalla from the New Jersey Department of Treasury. She is the Director of Legislative Affairs and Constituent Relations. And she told me, she reaffirmed that the program is definitely not operational at this point. And that it's likely that enrollment in the program will commence sometime well after this March.
Wow.
So,
interesting.
And what I'd like to highlight to everyone is that, please recognize that first the board has to organize the program. And then once the program's launched, and way before any enrollment deadlines are required, there will be multiple sources of public information for that will be sent to employers and employees. And
So,
then,
go ahead.
yeah, no. I also, because I'm big on corroborating my evidence, I spoke to the New Jersey State Society of CPAs has a government relations VP, Jeff Kasserman, and he also communicated to me that it's very likely the program will launch in March of 2022. So I'll use the expression ants in your pants. You just have to sit tight and you have to just wait for more information that will eventually be passed along.
Great. Is there any actions that business employee or business owners should start taking now or soon?
Yeah. So, if I was a business owner and I had over 25 employees, what I would do is just really evaluate what my other options are, right? So this program is just one option. No one's saying that you can't offer another retirement benefit program, such as a 401k plan, a simple program, a simple plan, or a SEP. So there are definitely other retirement plans that you could, what I would say, take the time and evaluate it and determine things to consider are the types of investments that could be in the plan, how much administrative activities the company, you as an employer would have to have, how much resources you'd have to dedicate to that effort. Also, you'd want to just make sure that you've evaluated the expenses associated with the plan. So that's something that I think if you are in that 25 to whatever range company size, you really should put that on your to-dos. And
At a minimum, they should start.
Professionals that can help you make some, gather that information and make some good decisions.
At a minimum, they should start gathering the data of their employees, their census data now, so that they don't have to do it next year during busy season when we're in the middle of taxes and stuff like that and audits.
Right.
Great.
So, I think it's just important to not make this, it is onerous, but what we know, and really what this stems from is when the federal government rolled out the Secure Act, really, which was setting up every community for enhanced benefits. And that's what's really important is, like, if you're a business owner, you really want to make sure that your employees can retire, when they're 65. So you could bring in younger folks to take on those responsibilities. So, what I did read recently, there was an article that stated just 1/3 of small companies offer these types of retirement benefits. So, I'm in this industry and I really, I know that it's an expense for a company, but it's also looked at not only, we have medical wellness benefits, but there's also financial wellness that is very important to an employee.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I know that it's important to set people up for retirement, not rely on Social Security. In New Jersey, while I'll pick on them at different times, we're not the only state doing this. I read an article that said that there were 11 other states, or we're the 11th state to put something like this in effect. So,
Right.
All right, we're right at the 15-minute mark, or just a little over. I want to thank Liz for presenting. I want to thank everybody for viewing. And please remember to look at the SobelCo website for other presentations and also for Liz's article and any other information on various topics. Again, thank you very much for viewing. And again, if you have topics, please feel free to reach out to me. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.